Hello, I'm Mark Oswald, voice teacher and former singer at the Metropolitan Opera. In these series of charts and videos, I like to describe what I think will be very helpful to singers. My method, which is, I believe, a little different from others, and hopefully, again, very helpful to singers and to teachers alike. Let me tell you a little bit about myself, if I may. I'm 49 years old. I grew up in a musical family. I've heard music all through my life and sang from a very early age. I played the piano for several years as well, still do. My parents from Pennsylvania were both singers as well, singers in church and for weddings, for example, along with my sister as well. I would say that my mother and my sister are both legitimate musical theater style singers, and my father actually sang somewhat the way I teach. So I heard very good singing from him, and he was on the classical side of things as a deep baritone. So our family together sang as basically a gospel quartet, and that became a quintet with my brother, who chimed in from time to time, but his major focus was on the trumpet. From my childhood, I sang a number of musicals, leading roles in musicals in high school, and after that I went to the Pennsylvania Governor's School my senior year in high school and was led toward auditioning for the Cincinnati Conservatory. It led to a particular teacher. His name is Andrew White, and he was my key teacher for 4 years. Prior to that, I had 1 year with his former student, Mr. George Massey, and after working with Mr. White and building my voice, then in New York, I worked with another former student of Andrew White, Richard Hughes. I was, right after college, one of the youngest singers to win the Metropolitan Opera auditions, and I was one of the youngest male singers to debut in a leading role at the Metropolitan Opera. My colleagues, for those dozen or so years that I sang there, I believe felt that I was one of the more sound technical singers on the roster, and there are singers with whom I work right now that really do believe that a teacher should have been able to produce tone technically correct. They believe that if one has not had that experience, it's not quite as effective to be a leading teacher. I don't know if I agree with that or not, but several of my students feel that way. It is not only one's ear or the qualities that one can pick up with a good ear. Of course, teachers must have that. But more importantly, a teacher must have the instincts to guide, build, correct, and encourage the singer properly. This type of ability in a teacher requires, I believe, almost a laser-like visual focus, where one has to be able to, in time, see through a singer a bit and be able to figure out what he or she is doing, where the stretch of tone is located, in what direction or directions, and how to build each individual pitch in the voice so that all pitches line up together. With all this in mind, the teacher has to find the easiest way to not tie the singer in knots with too much information, but certainly be specific enough in order for the singer to gain knowledge of how to build his own voice in the practice room till they meet again. Here's a little audio-visual, I guess. I guess I'll read it off, although it will sound a little bit self-serving. A minimum of 25 years of analysis of the patterns of excellent singers has gone into the suggestions made in these charts and videos, with vocal health, of course, paramount in the technical reasoning behind what I'm saying. Proper diction has also been taken into careful account when suggesting modifications. I should say, when suggesting purity, which in vowel, of course, as we often need, and modifications when necessary. So the suggestions per voice type have seemed to please the powers that be, diction coaches, as I'm referring to the Metropolitan Opera, music coaches, and conductors alike, which is a necessary part of the survival of the highest level singers. So we have to make everybody happy at the highest levels, or in each opera company, so we're hired again and again. But of course, as in the first paragraph, vocal health is paramount. When you sing really well, people will allow you to do just what you want to do. And they'll be on your side and not give you any hassle. All right, so the bottom sentence, all the material is from my own personal, subjective experience. There are so many methods out there, and this is merely one, but one that I've seen has shown, in my view, in a studio setting, a proper balance between clarity of sound with fullness of tone, chiaroscuro, clarity and richness, along with very, very important elements of pitch, and maybe even the most important element, vibration. Correct vibration. Resultant vibration that's clean and clear, that's neither too fast or too slow, doesn't have a wobble in it. It's just what we'd like to hear. And if one has a proper method, one will hear this vibration not interfere with the tone. It's very, very important for all singers, especially for women as well. The method to build each individual voice so that the entirety of 2 or 2.5 octaves is functioning exactly correctly with perfect pitch, perfect vibration, which is to me just as important, if not even more. That vibration, a telltale sign of what is going right in the voice on each pitch. If the vibration is too slow or too fast in the way on any pitch, then the technique, I believe, is, of course, incorrect. So the analysis and the information must be absolutely correct for each voice type, for each individual. And so I have a number of charts and ideas to get everyone started, which hopefully will be a bit more than 50% of the puzzle, of figuring out the best way for a singer with professional ambition to succeed. There are many, many very good singers in the world. There are not that many great singers in the world. Not that many close to perfect singers in the world, as I've seen, and so many traveling through my voice studio from time to time over the years. It is possible, with proper technique, to build your voice into exactly what you want. Let's have a good time with this.